Welcome back to the regular podcast, but today we aren't doing the MCU rewatch. We're gonna do a little something different.
No, no, no.
So recently, a lot of you may heard of, just a little small game coming out known as Marvel's Avengers, and so the open beta just wrapped up for that game, and we participated in it. We downloaded, played through a little bit here and there, just enough to, get our bearings of the game. And now
hmm
here we're gonna do instead of MCU rewatch, we're gonna give you something different. We're gonna be doing a good, the bad, and the ugly review of the Marvel's Avengers beta. And I'm joined here by Sterling or SDUBnation.
Hey, uh, is Sterling here? SDUBnation. Yeah, no, yeah, I'm the one that always, talks the most, probably the most on the podcast. Me
Yeah,
and Jonathan,
yeah.
we talk the most here on the
Yeah,
regular
yeah,
rewatch.
yeah, yo, yeah,
So,
yeah. All right, now I'm gonna take a page out of Sterling's book. Without further ado, let's get into the good.
and the good thing that comes to mind here, for me at least, is the fact that the game is co-op. I
Yeah,
like the fact that I get to play with my friends in a game like this, and especially with the Avengers characters. We're gonna have more characters come, but just with Hulk, Iron Man, and Black Widow, I really enjoy those characters.
uh,
Yep, only those.
okay. Yeah, the good thing about this game is I think it's just like a good co-op game. Like it's not too sweaty, because a lot of the gaming landscape today is battle royale, first-person shooter,
hmm
sweat, sweat, sweat. But no, this is just like a nice little game. You can chill with like up to four people in your party. Who knows? There might be even more player game what's coming. You just take on a mission, super quick missions. The missions are super quick, and that's what
hmm
that's what I love in this game. Also, just being able to play as the Avengers and like this high quality of a game, we've really never seen this before. Like,
Yeah, only in the Lego games. They were barely even co-op. So,
yeah, barely. It's couch two-player
yeah.
co-op.
Yeah, I just feel like the co-op, and then even with the Avengers members, we getting more characters. It's just the dream to have a game like this one to actually play as your favorite superhero team. I just really enjoy that about the
Yeah.
game.
Also, I think one thing will be that is good, but we didn't really see a lot of in the beta, is I really like the story of this game, like what we've seen from trailers, the war
Yeah.
tables that the devs have been doing. Like apparently this story is supposed to like I think what it's gonna do is do what Into the Spider-Verse did for Miles Morales for Kamala Khan.
hmm
Like using Kamala Khan to kind of like show what like a fangirly character like as she's coming into her superpowers and she has to reconnect the Avengers. That's something that I thought we would have gotten like following Civil War, but you already know about Civil War. I already talked about Civil War, man. We already talked about it.
Already talked about the final battle, but yeah, I already talked about this game. All right, so the game, okay, yeah, Kamala Khan, man, just all
Uh,
right, yeah, but just the game itself, like just like you said, the story itself, I really enjoyed. And like you said, bringing in the Avengers, like trying to rebuild the Avengers team, is something that you want to see inside of the movies, and you actually get to play through that story inside of the game. We
yeah,
didn't really play through it through the beta, but
but
I'm really
we did get
anticipating doing
glimpses of
that.
that. We did get glimpses of
Yeah.
it. Also, good thing, I think the combat in this game for each Avenger works really well. There are a few
hmm
gimmicks that we'll get into when once we get to the bad and the ugly, but characters like Iron Man flight and like his combat switching between light and heavy attacks, ranged attacks, incorporating melee, it's so
hmm
useful. Like I remember I was playing Iron Man during the beta, and there was this attack
Best
where
character.
I brought an enemy up into the air, hit him once, switched to my repulsors, blast him, switched back to my lasers, and then did like a laser uppercut and slammed him into the ground. Like stuff like that is just like because you see in these movies like all these
hmm
characters doing like, insane stunts, and you
Yeah,
get to play that
fantastical
out.
spectacle stuff,
You get to play
and
that
you
out.
want to play through that.
Exactly.
And like how I said it even during the war table and stuff like that. I said I like it when there's a lot of action around, but you can see it. And I think
Yes.
that's the best thing about like playing a co-op game, because everybody has a part to play. Even when you're just playing solo, but you have like the AIs with you.
Yeah.
Everybody is doing something. It's just a lot of commotion going around, but you get to see the action. I just like stuff like that.
Yes, and there is a
I don't
lot
know
of
why.
stuff going on in this game at any moment. Like there'll be
hmm
explosions, a bunch of enemies, bigger enemies, and just you actually have to work with your team. You have Kamala Khan; she's got a healing ability.
hmm
So, you got to have one person that's focused on healing. If you have a ranged character like Iron Man, you might want to take out them ranged enemies before they get to your teammates. So I think the best
Mhm.
aspect of this game, before we wrap out the good, is just the overall being able to play as the Avengers in solid gameplay.
With the people like you're friends with. I love that aspect about playing video games like these because I get to play with my friends and have a good time and have fun where I don't have to worry about getting triggered or getting mad over a solo player game or even a competitive game. It's just you and your
Yeah.
friends having fun.
All right, but I wish I could say that this was a perfect 10 out of 10 beta, but it really wasn't. So let's
No.
move into the bad. Starting off like with the big issue out of the way is the performance of this game.
Hmm.
Like the graphics of this game, while they're not completely trash 2D pixels, the facial animations and the character models do need some work. And I know
Yeah.
graphics really don't sell a game for me, but for a next gen Xbox One game that is supposed to be on Series X, we played it on Xbox. This game is supposed to be on Series X. It really doesn't look
Hmm.
like that good when you have games like Modern Warfare. Like they look pretty good. Even on the other side, Spider-Man, like those games look good. But I think if just polish up the graphics a little bit and make it look a little bit nicer.
Hmm. Yeah. I when I was playing the game, I think the most noticeable was Hulk. And I think Hulk just looked way too glossy. And I even said it, well, not glossy, but like he looked a little bit
Like dull.
blurry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what like
exactly. He
he had
looked
like a
dull,
matte
and
color.
even the like even the his surroundings looked kind of dull too. I think it was like when him and Kamala Khan, like after A Day, when him and Kamala Khan were like walking through the like the forest or something.
Hmm.
I think that's when I noticed it. I'm like, yo, this looks weird. Like it
Yeah,
looks
it
weird
doesn't look
because it's just
horrible,
so
but it doesn't look
soft and
great.
dull.
And
Yeah,
also, I think hair textures in this game need a big improvement. Like Bruce Banner has
yeah.
a beard in a certain section of this game, and you can literally
Mhm.
see like his face under the beard, if that makes sense. Like the beard is
Mhm.
transparent. And,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
And
and
even with Black Widow's hair, I was like, dude, why is her hair not moving? Why is her
yeah,
hair
her
not
hair
moving?
is
Because
clipping through
I
her
was like,
chest.
yeah, like what is this?
Like it is just a
Like,
beta,
what are we
but
doing here?
like I think they should fix these up before we move into the real game. Also, another
Yeah,
huge issue that I experienced, I think you experienced, is that certain characters feel way underpowered, like Hulk. Like that first
yeah.
mission with Hulk and Kamala Khan, I was dying so many times, so
Because
many
it was
times.
like Hulk. It's like Hulk just really didn't have that much of a big power set.
Yeah,
It
he
it
didn't
just
feel
made me so
beefy.
agitated.
He didn't feel beefy. Like I feel like Hulk should like he shouldn't be indestructible, obviously
Mhm.
for gameplay reasons, but I felt like I was dying way more with Hulk than any other
Mhm. Than
character.
I did with any other character. Exactly.
Yes.
With Iron Man, I could defeat those drones easily. With Kamala
Yes.
Khan, I did good. But with Hulk, man, Hulk was just so
Hulk was
hard
just
to
getting
do
taken
because
out, but I don't even know what it was. Like there weren't that many enemies, but I feel like I was dying left and right. Like singular bullets would take down like all of my health. And I feel like when I'm
hmm
playing as Hulk, I should feel freaking powerful. I should feel like I'm indestructible. I'm punching like people like with the force of trucks, and that's not how I felt with Hulk.
I should be healing as soon as I get hit. Like I
Yeah.
know for like gameplay reasons, like, but I just feel like I should be healing because Hulk has a healing factor. I should be healing right
Mm-hmm.
after I got hit.
Yes.
But no, of course, I I kept dying with Hulk because of something stupid like the game.
Also,
But
another thing that's bad here. No, if you finish before I move into that.
yeah, I just that's just one of my bad things. I think that's the only bad thing until we get into the ugly. But you
Yeah.
go ahead and go.
So another thing is I think we didn't really see much of it in the beta, but it is there. And I think what's going to be a huge problem for this game, I'll talk more about it in Ugly, is microtransactions. Each character has their own like little battle pass that you can skip with these. I forgot what they were called, but there was this in-game currency. And when the full game releases, you'll most likely be able to purchase those currencies with money. The beta already had a
Hmm.
full functioning item shop, and we've seen all the marketing throughout this game. Spider-Man exclusivity, 5 Gum skins, Verizon skins, or Xfinity, and microtransactions. They scare me, but we'll move on into the ugly.
And I think the ugliest thing here about this game is that it seems like a cash grab, man. In my opinion, I feel like it
Yeah,
seems like a cash grab. Even with what you just said, Verizon skins. We got Spider-Man coming only to PlayStation.
you
There's a
got
lot of
five
things, and it
gum
just yeah,
XP boost.
exactly. It feels like a cash grab, and I feel like that's what the game is. Instead of them actually putting their heart into the game, their heart and soul, and making the graphics look good, and actually,
Hmm.
crafting a good story. Because I'm bet you the story, the idea of it, the fantasy of it, is probably going to be better than the reality. But
I
I just
have
think
that
that,
feeling too.
yeah,
I
like
want to believe in these developers. Crystal Dynamics, they made some pretty good games, and I want to believe that they can deliver a story, but they have to make money for this game somehow. And I know
hmm
that this game's gonna have microtransactions, like it's gonna be super hard to earn currency for them skins, but this game has so much like marketing around it. Like as you said,
hmm
we're seeing so many exclusive deals, exclusive skins, and I don't want to have to play this game upon release and have to be like, oh, I really want that skin, but I don't have enough credits for it, and I don't want to have to
hmm
grind 8 hours to get one
or
skin.
or I really want to play a Spider-Man, but I don't want to buy a PS4 or a PlayStation or something like that.
Yeah,
I just feel like it's just a big cash grab, and I don't know. It's
and- yes. Also,
and
another
even with
ugly
and
thing. Oh, here, you want to finish?
oh my bad. Yeah, I was about to say like even with Spider-Man PS4 and Miles Morales, they put those developers. I feel like they put their heart and soul into that game to make
Mm-hmm.
the best experience for those PlayStation players.
Yeah.
But with the game like this that's going to be available to PC, to PlayStation, and to Xbox, they don't really care. They just care about making the gaming experience better for PlayStation, which
Yes.
is why they're bringing in Spider-Man, which is why they got the beta first,
Yes.
because they wanted to make the experience better for PlayStation. And I feel like that's
That
a
is
wrong
sucky.
idea.
That is sucky. This game is a multi-platform. It's going to be on all platforms except Switch for obvious reasons, and
hmm
probably will have crossplay. I don't know. The devs. I don't think the devs have confirmed anything. Maybe they have. But like, is that if it is crossplay, that introduces the problems. Like, am I going to be able to play with friends on PlayStation, and I'm going to see them
hmm
run around with Spider-Man? That's not going to be fair.
Yeah, exactly. That's not going to be fun or anything. I wouldn't like that.
Yes, another thing I
So,
absolutely hated in the game, like I know we said the combat was pretty good, but there's some
hmm
parts where like this combat is aggravating. Like the game tells
yeah.
you hold the Y button, and it'll do a heavy attack to break people with with shields. I'll do that, their
hmm
shield won't break. I'll do that, their shield
hmm
won't break. Or sometimes you'll hit an enemy, it won't do damage. And also the aiming is so terrible.
Yeah,
Like
like
if this
it
aiming
has
is like
no auto aim.
yeah,
It's
like there's
just
no like snap to targets. I tried messing around with the sensitivity. There's nothing you can do. Like trying to throw Thor's hammer, shoot Iron Man's repulsor, Black Widow's guns. I rarely did
hmm
that because I found it
Black Widow's
next to
guns were the
impossible.
hardest for me because she
Exactly,
wouldn't even
because
pull
they
them
had
out when I
so
would
much
be aiming.
recoil. They had
Yeah.
so much recoil, and like that that kind of makes you not want to play those ranged characters because
hmm
the aiming is close to impossible. It's so hard to do. Also, like enemies in this game, some enemies are bullet sponges. Like some enemies are
Bullet
so
sponges.
tanky. Like you'll have your whole squad on just pummeling this one giant stupid little crab tank, and it'll just keep walking off like, oh, try again, and stuff like that. I hate bullet sponging games. Like I know they need to make the game difficult, but I think they could do the difficulty with the making the boss, have attack patterns that you need to dodge and stuff. Like the Abomination boss
hmm
fight, it wasn't even fun. Like I don't think that Abomination boss fight. Spoilers alert if you guys didn't see it, but come on, you probably saw it already. But this Abomination boss fight was so tanky, and his damage was just way better than your damage, and
Yeah.
that's something I really hate.
Yeah, and like even when you're playing with big characters like Hulk, which you played a lot of inside of the beta itself, you just find yourself in small areas with this big beastie character.
Yeah,
And I feel like even with Iron Man, you're flying, like you want to fly around as Iron Man. That's what everybody
yeah,
wants to do. But then you get inside of a building where the
yeah.
mission is
You're in
taking
these
place
tight
in. You're
corridors.
flying exactly. You're flying around corridors and hallways, and with Hulk, you're just walking through hallways and stuff. I don't feel like
Yes,
that's fun. I want to roam the streets of New York. I want to jump. up and down as the Hulk,
Yeah,
and they're probably gonna add that into the game, like if
but
you
where
buy
it
the game.
stands, it isn't well. Like
Yeah,
characters
exactly. I'm
like
just
Iron
not
Man
invested.
thrives in those big open worlds where you can just
Mm-hmm.
be flying, but every other character is left in the dust. Why can't Hulk
Mm-hmm.
like super jump or like gain mobility? Because didn't they say that in the war table? Hulk would gain
Yeah,
mobility as you jumped. And characters like Kamala Khan, and Black Widow, they're just their movement in these big open spaces sucks. Like you
yeah,
get to do this little swing thing that's barely like you're better off running.
yeah. I
You
feel
bet
like Kamala Khan swinging is better
Black
than
Widow.
Black Widows, but I still think
That's
that
still
Kamala
it's
Khan is
still
not a good character in the game. I
like
do not like her in the
all
game.
characters' movement systems suck except for Iron Man. And then once you get
Yeah,
inside, all that's thrown away because you can't like super fly. You can only do like a little hover. Like and most of the time in these indoor missions, I found myself just standing on the ground, running around as Iron Man.
exactly. Which I can do that with any type of character, just shooting with
Exactly.
pulsar rays or something like that. I want to
Exactly.
go out, like I want to go out in the open, fly around, and then shoot from the skies or something like that. But
Exactly.
when you're inside of a place, even with corridors and hallways, or even when you're inside the war zones themselves, where like it's just like a big open space, but it's not really an open space because you can't really
You can't
fly
utilize
around a
that
lot.
space unless you're
Exactly, you
Iron
can't
Man.
utilize that space.
Unless you're
So
Iron Man. And when you are Iron Man, those sequences are phenomenal. Just flying around. The flying system is so nice. Like being able to
yeah.
slow down with Iron Man, lock on to like 5 targets and shoot missiles. But he can't do that when you're in these tight open areas. Like there's an ability
Hmm.
for Iron Man that it requires you to be flying to use a certain missile. And most of these missions in the beta took place in corridors. And that
Yep.
just made it like super hard because
Yep.
I just wasted a skill point on this. But
Yeah, like with Hulk, man. Like I said, dude, the graphics just look dull and
yeah,
bland to me, and they just look so blurry. So when I'm inside of a dark hallway, or if I'm inside of a dark room with a big character like Hulk, which I can't really see the little people, I can't really see the enemies because Hulk is big. The graphics are blurry. It's all dark
yeah.
everywhere inside of that
I think
room,
the
and
best
then I
looking
gotta
mission was A-Day on the bridge.
exactly. And then I gotta take out all of these different guys, and I'm like, dude, I can't see them. I barely can see them. That's why I kept dying a lot, and plus they
Yes.
were OP.
I
But yeah,
also
like
think
you
there needs
said,
to be some more
the best
enemy
mission was the
variety.
8A one.
The
Hmm?
best, some more enemy variety. Because the only
Yeah.
enemies you fight in this game, you fight dudes with melee weapons, dudes with the guns, robots with melee weapons, robots with guns, or big robots.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, it does feel really cool to use these abilities, but when you're not using them up against an interesting enemy, you kind of just feel like, well, that attack was kind of dissatisfying. Like, the combat is
Mm-hmm.
satisfying, but it doesn't feel satisfying beating up these faceless dudes. Even the Taskmaster boss fight, it was pretty bare bones. Like I
Yeah.
get it was probably supposed to be the tutorial section, but it's just he comes at you at like 1 mile an hour, dodge to the left, shoot him. He does the same thing,
Yep.
dodge to the right, shoot him. Use the
Shoot him
ability when the game
exactly, and
tells you.
then or like you'll grapple onto his head, you'll hit his head a couple times, he'll knock you down to the ground, then you get up, do the exact same thing over and over again.
Yes.
It's But I feel like, just like you said, A-Day mission was the best one because you got to play as Thor, you got to play as Iron Man, you got to play as Hulk and Black Widow and Captain America. So you got to play as every Avenger,
Mm-hmm.
and plus it was like a lot of commotion going around. We saw Iron Man flying around carrying something, or you see Thor saving people in the background while you're flying on Taskmaster's back. I just think that the rest of the beta just was not up to par as the A-Day mission.
Yeah. All right. But one more thing I want to say before we do get into our final thoughts is it's like there is a lot of ugly and bad in this game, but I still think there isn't a lot of potential. But with that
Yeah,
being said, let's move into our final thoughts. The Avengers beta was not disappointing. It wasn't
it's mixed
disappointing.
bag.
It was
It's a mixed bag
underwhelming.
for me.
But
Yeah,
did have fun playing it though. I did have fun playing it. And for the
yeah, me
sparse
too.
amount of time we did get to play, those moments were fun with the little
Hmm.
bad moments and ugly moments sprinkled in. Like there
Yeah.
was a lot of bad in this game, but I think a lot of that was overshadowed just by the fact that this is a co-op game, this is a multiplayer game, it's casual, it's chill. I can play it with my friends and I can play as my favorite heroes.
Hmm.
But
Like, what more do you want?
is this a game that I'm gonna buy day one? I don't think so.
No,
I don't think I'm going
no,
to buy this game day one. I'm going to
it's not a day one call.
once it hits its release, I'm going to just sit in the shadows, wait for reviews, wait for gameplays. No, probably something that you pick up for Christmas or once it's on sale for GameStop. But whatever you do, wouldn't encourage you to pre-order this game
Mm-mm.
or get like one
There's
of
no
the
reason to.
$100 Ultimate Editions. Because what we experienced in the beta, if the final game is anything like that, it's hugely disappointing. Hugely. But
Yeah,
I
it
can say
was.
the beta it was fun after seeing all these hype for this game for months. It was finally good to be able to
Yeah,
step into that gameplay.
and it
Minus
seemed like the
store,
game was going straight. It seemed like
yes.
everything about the game was actually going straight. And then they released the Spider-Man thing, and my hype just went down. And this beta confirms what I think about the game so far.
Yes, but this is a game I would definitely say keep your eyes on. Don't pick it up when it's $60, maybe, rent it out, see if you like it, or just wait a couple weeks or months on the line when it gets, because there's going to be people who obviously like send it back. Get a used copy from GameStop, pick it up for like $40, $30, maybe get it for Christmas. This isn't a
Hmm.
game I think that you should be itching to play, counting down the days, because it really is
Yeah,
just like a casual experience
or
with your
pre
friends.
or even pre-ordering it. Like I would not pre-order this game whatsoever, and there's no reason for me to do that.
Yeah.
Like I can just wait for it to go on sale, like everyone else is probably gonna do, and
Hmm.
just play it after everyone else has played it. I don't care if you want to pre-order it or not. I'm not gonna do it because it's not a game that interests me right now.
Yeah. But with that being said, you know, this concludes our good, bad, and the ugly for Avengers. But if you like these smaller sorts of videos, to expect a little couple more of them as we go on. We want to branch out more than just being a podcast. But I just want to say thank you, Starring, for coming over. Is there anything you want to, shout out, point out towards?
Go SDUBnation. We're at 250 subscribers at the time of this recording. And yeah, just go check out SDUBnation, man. It's a
Check
great
them out.
channel.
That link will be in the description. Yep.
I think it's less than an 8 out of 10. It's
Mm,
it's a 7. I
yeah,
put it at a
I'll put it at
7.
7. I'll put it at 7.
It's a 7 out of 10, and I'll give it a B minus. It still needs some work, but it's still pretty enjoyable. A B minus is still high.
I can agree.
B
I can
minus
agree
is
with
not
that.
low.
But
Yeah.
make sure to come back Monday where we will be uploading Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 for the podcast. But thanks for watching. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you want more content like this.